Hello, everybody. Welcome back to NCAA 2004, and we are here at the penultimate conclusion to our 8th season at the helm of the Alabama Crimson Tide football team. And the conclusion to that year number 8 is the Sugar Bowl, now up against the Florida State Seminoles, who are 9-4 heading into this game. And funnily enough, one of those 4 losses is to our bitter rival, the Tennessee Volunteers. So that was one of Florida State's out-of-conference games this year, a brutal out-of-conference game to have to play for Florida State. But it didn't seem to impede their chances of winning the ACC, because they did, of course, win the ACC. And so it's got them here in the Sugar Bowl. And the last time we were here, we were playing Miami, of course, who won the ACC. So, but in the last couple seasons, Florida State's kind of been hovering around this weird, game or two above 500. So 9-4 is not a game or two above 500. It's 5 games above 500, quick math. But last year they finished 8-6 after winning their bowl game, and that somehow got them ranked 21st. And then the year before that they finished 8-5, and that got them ranked 20th. So Florida State's kind of been hovering around this line of mediocrity, really kind of struggling to get over that final hump. And looking at the roster, they have some good guys on there. It seems to be a continuing trend with these teams that I write down, where their quarterbacks are really good, their running backs are also pretty solid, even the fullbacks to an extent, but the receiving corps is really not great. So that's kind of like the big difference, I guess, that we've made in building the program, is that our receiving corps is really solid alongside a pretty good quarterback and a decent running back. So we've kind of went the other way. We've prioritized the pass, which in these games is exactly how you really need to be effective here. You can score 1,000,000 points if you have a good passing game. So, and we're going to see that passing game in action as Jesse Allison now drops back to pass here and lobs one up here, I believe, to Scotty Mitchell. I think that was an early one to Scotty. We didn't see a whole lot of Scotty in the SC Championship game, but it didn't really matter because Jody Quinn and Thomas Samples really picked up the slack. So, but an early completion to Scotty now, 3rd and 9 inside the Seminoles territory. And again, we're going to dump this one off quickly here to Scotty Mitchell, and he's going to get brought down close to the sticks. I'm not entirely sure if he's got it, which I don't think he does. So on 4th and 1, Sick Name is going to keep the boys out on the field, and J.J. Wright's going to get the call right up the middle, and he's going to pick up the first down for the Crimson Tide. And now our drive is going to continue here, looking to get some points early on in the Sugar Bowl, if at all possible. So 1st and 10 here, now inside the 15, Allison back to pass, flips one out once again to that same side that Scotty's at, and I think it was another completion to Scotty Mitchell. So 4 straight completions, and it looks like they're all to Scotty Mitchell. That's certainly what it seems like. So 1st and goal now for the Crimson Tide, and we're going to give J.J. Wright the call once again, and he's going to bust this one up the middle for the first touchdown of the game, man. So boom, there we get it. We get a whole drive on the backs of 2 guys that we haven't called an awful lot, what feels like in a while. So Jesse Allison to the other side now to Max Price, the sophomore. So already we're back on offense as Florida State's offense sputters out here in the beginning of the first quarter, or through the first quarter, because we're now pretty late on into it. And now Jesse Allison from close to midfield here throws a hospital ball to J.J. Wright, but he somehow comes down with it and holds on to it. On top of that, doesn't lose his lunch or the football, so that's good to see. So on a 2nd and 10 now for the Crimson Tide, we're going to just give J.J. Wright the ball directly, and with a huge spin move, he gets into open space here. Florida State had nobody up the middle for some reason. That's a dangerous place to leave vacant. A very dangerous place to leave vacant. And J.J. Wright gets the first down and a heck of a lot more. So with goal to go now from the 9. The play fake doesn't get bid on, and Jesse Allison, with a man in his face, has to flip it out to Scotty Mitchell, which apparently is a record-breaking touchdown, it looks like. That looked like a record-breaking... I didn't even see that. It looked like a record-breaking touchdown for Scotty, so give him the game ball, man. Someone keep that game ball for him. So maybe that's all he needed, man. He could have got that during the SC Championship, but didn't. So 14-0 is the score here after the first quarter, but Florida State finally moving the football here on a very long play here. So they needed 19 yards to get the first down, and ended up getting a heck of a lot more, as their quarterback Eric Cummings was able to find a receiver downfield. So 2nd and 6 now for the Seminoles, and they're going to go with a handoff on the ground to their running back Rick Smith, the junior, who was able to just kind of drag some Crimson Tide players with him into the end zone turf, and Florida State has finally struck the scoreboard here. So 7-14 is the score, but we are moving once again close to the midfield logo. So Jesse Allison back to pass here, throws one directly down the middle. That one's going to be picked off, as Jesse Allison, I guess, didn't see that DB there. I don't know. It was a completely tangled web web of people not all wearing crimson jerseys, so I'm not entirely sure what the game plan there was, Mr. Allison. Not entirely sure. That's not something the best quarterback of the year would do, I don't think. So, but Florida State seems to be making some mistakes of their own as the ball gets stripped out here, and that fumble is going to be recovered. It looks like Dominic Whitten recovered it, did he? He had the interception. Remember, he had the interception last game. He probably didn't. We're going to get a look at it here, but Rick Smith fumbles the football here, and, so, no, Isaac Tyler is the one who landed on top of it, but T.D. Dixon was the one who popped it out. So, big play for the defense there and gets us the football back, and J.J. Wright's making good use of that opportunity with another spin move or juke move to get the first down and a little bit more. So J.J. Wright's getting a little bit productive here in this game. Not something we're entirely used to. We don't run the ball that well, but we're going to take it. So 1st and 10. Allison back to pass again. Throws it to that right side of the field. It's batted around, and somehow it's going to get caught in the end zone. How on earth did that happen? As two Seminoles just played catch with it, and they just bobble it back and forth. Look at this. Just tip, and Max Price with the concentration to haul that one in here and get inside the end zone. Wow. So 21-7 now the score over Florida State, and they need to get a little bit of a surge here. And Eric Cummings with a hospital ball all the way out to Junior Kennedy. And, nearly gets him flattened and nearly gets him killed. But he does manage to haul the ball in and stay on his feet. So 1st and 10 for Florida State now inside the 40 here. They're going to fake the handoff. It's bit once again, and we have problems with the play fake. I don't know what it is. We need a new defensive coordinator to get these boys into shape, because I don't know what on earth is happening. We just bite on the play fake every single time, but I guess that's why it's called the play fake, because it's effective. So Eric Cummings hits Kennedy once again here, but now it's going to be 3rd and 13 for the Seminoles, trying to cap off this good drive if they can, and Cummings dumps it off quickly here to the tight end, Cole Pruitt, and he is well short of the line to gain. So that's going to be a 4th down opportunity for Florida State, and we could probably imagine maybe they'll just take the points, and they do. They're going to take the points here. So they bring out the special teams unit to at least get 3, and they're going to try and kill a little bit, as much clock as possible in the first half, because I know our offense is deadly even with a minute 24 left to go. So, but it wasn't all that deadly, as we had to punt it back to Florida State. So Florida State with another opportunity with less than a minute left to go in the first half, and Eric Cummings already making good work with that opportunity as he fires that one off to Jax Wagner, the junior, or the freshman, excuse me. He's a freshman, so freshman receiver getting involved here. And Eric Cummings is going to find Dominic Whitten for another interception, and Dominic Whitten seems to be having a nice little streak of games here in the quote-unquote postseason, as he had himself an impressive SEC championship, and here he is in the Sugar Bowl with another interception. So you love to see that from the linebacking core, and he's a junior, so we should hypothetically still have him after this season. So I guess depending whether he wants to leave or not. I haven't seen that happen too often, but it could happen. Anyone could leave. So 21-10 is the score here, as we wouldn't do much with the football once we got it back. So the first half comes to a close. Still a manageable game for Florida State. If they can get some points here, then we might have to sweat a little bit more, but not when Eric Cummings is doing stuff like that, man. And Harold Frazier gets the interception and is heading the other way, and that is a huge touchdown for the junior's cornerback as he gets into the end zone. And look at that passing breakdown. Both quarterbacks having similar games, including the turnover. So a very interesting game, but the scoreboard is not reflecting that. So 28-10, and Jesse Allison and the boys back on the field, and he hits his man, Thomas Samples, across the middle. We haven't called Samples much in this video, not after the amazing game that he had last week, or, a few weeks ago, a month ago probably. I guess there's probably a month between the Sugar Bowl and the title game, I would think. Either way, but he had a big game, but he finally gets a nice pass here. So in the red zone once again for the Crimson Tide, and Allison wants to throw for it if he can, and that's J.J. Wright. That's J.J. Wright in the end zone. What on earth is happening? That's J.J. Wright. It looked like he ran a route. I don't know, man. So receiving running back J.J. Wright. Just don't forget that. Put that on the draft stock. So 35-10 is the score here, and on a 3rd and inches, we're going to try and give it to Marquise Houston to get the first down, and he can't get it. So a guy who we haven't called much at all and didn't contribute in the one opportunity that he had. So tough to say, but we do love Marquise Houston, okay? We do love him here. We absolutely do. But John Bellamy nails through that field goal to make it 38-10, and guys, I'm sorry to tell you this, but that's it. Nothing else would happen in the game. Nothing else. Florida State wouldn't do anything. They didn't score any more points after that field goal, and we would kind of just coax on by. And from what I edited in the fourth quarter, it looks like the starters played for the entirety of the game. So it wasn't even like the backups came in and just didn't play well. It's just Florida State's defense was able to tighten up, and their offense wasn't able to do anything with the opportunity or the time. They had like a quarter and a half to still score some points and stay in the football game, and they didn't do it. So now I see why they're 9-4, now 9-5. So you can already see the huge huge discrepancy in production here. We actually ran the football really well. We didn't convert a single third down. That's unsettling. We didn't convert a single third down. That's the kind of sloppy play that really kind of defined this season, even though we only lost a single game. You know, when you're playing football like that, you're eventually going to lose a game because we're a team that is completely built on not losing any games because we're trying to win championships here, guys. Come on. So the best quarterback in all of college football apparently has a great final game here, or a final game of the season. He's a junior. He could leave, so it's possible that we're going to be switching quarterbacks again after this season. I would hope not, but J.J. Wright also has a very, very impressive game here, and he is a sophomore, so we should still keep him. He should not leave. So, and I would love to see how his overall increases into the next season. So that would be really impressive to see. But here's our Sugar Bowl trophy. We win ourselves another Sugar Bowl. So that's something that we have done. That's our second Sugar Bowl in like 3 years. I think we've played in it 3 or 4 times. But and we get an offer from Notre Dame. So Notre Dame was really impressed with the butt kicking that they received at the hands of us earlier in the year, and they want us to go coach there at Notre Dame. But we're not doing that because obviously the goal is here in Bama. We're trying to match Nick Saban's total. So, and then even crazier, Fresno State wins the national title. They beat Texas and win the national title. So that's crazy, man. That could have been us getting our butts kicked by the Bulldogs. So fortunately, we avoided that. But we're going to get into the offseason festivities in the next video. Hope to see you guys there.